Old Jack got home and saw his son honoring his mom. There was a travel bag beside his son. He said he'll chase dreams in the big city. Without any plan, I'll decide when I arrive. But his son said he would walk to Tokyo. After that, he grabbed his bag and left. Old Jack had no intention of driving his son. He sat at home folding clothes. His son's situation troubled him. Just then, Old Jack heard a noise outside. He thought his son still hadn't gone, so he asked if it was his son outside.
Yes, it's me, Koichi.
Koichi came to retrieve the script. He chose to give up on the film. Now, having been brought back, he had to reclaim the script to shoot again. Old Jack didn't know the reasons behind this. He invited Koichi in as a guest. He also saw the marks left by Old Jack's son when he was 10 on a wooden post. Old Jack said that last year, he had a serious work accident where a big log almost crushed him. Though he survived against the odds, his lungs were severely damaged. Since then, Old Jack quit smoking. And he was crushed on the spot. Then Old Jack returned the script to Lucky One. He said he had never seen such an interesting story, and he shared with Lucky One that it made him cry. Old Jack's approval of the script. For Lucky One, it's a boost, and they played chess to pass the time. This wooden chessboard was handmade by Old Jack. It looks like it can last for several hundred years. Then a voice came to his ear. Don't wear the black ones. Lucky One took the advice of the voice. He put down the black socks. He took a pair of dark blue socks and put them on. But in the end, he took off the dark blue socks. He then met the female lad, Lin. Lucky One asked Old Jack how the previous scene went, but Old Jack replied, "That actress smelled wonderful." At mealtime, Old Jack would bring a bento. He came to decide to eat with Lucky One. Lucky One became a director at just 25. For Old Jack, this is a remarkable thing. Old Jack pointed to the pine tree behind Lucky One and said, "This tree is 150 years old. It has weathered countless storms to grows into the tall tree it is now. Everything you've gone through is fertilizer that makes you stronger. Please grow wildly in the storm." Lucky One didn't look like a director on set, even though he was in charge of the whole set. He always appeared very respectful. On the surface, he looked polite and respectful, but he was actually quite indecisive. He commanded no authority in the crew. That night, he was distressed over work, pulling at his hair. Just then, Old Jack knocked on his door. Because at lunch today, Old Jack saw Lucky One eating on the floor. He had a director's chair but didn't sit in it. As a new director, the director's chair, he never dared to sit in it. He felt he didn't deserve it. He thought he wasn't a good director, so Lucky One was embarrassed to sit in it. So Old Jack specially made a solid wet stool for Lucky One. It was engraved with Lucky One's name and age, and it read director. Now, he wouldn't feel embarrassed. Lucky One's crew was facing a shortage of people. There weren't enough actresses for the women's bamboo spear team. He rallied all the village women for Lucky One's film. With Old Jack's help, the bamboo spear team, led by Lin, grew from 5 to now grown to 25 members. However, most of them are rural women who work in the field. They have no idea how to act. As the director, Lucky One taught them how to act. Everyone's loved ones were killed by zombies.
Please stab with your bamboo spear filled with rage. What do you mean by loved ones?
Hey, it's Mom. Pretend it's me who was killed, understood? Cut it. Amid laughter, Lucky One's attitude towards the film changed dramatically. He started by dodging it to now enjoying it. He no longer thinks it's a bad film, but rather something to take seriously. The scene was a duel with Lin and the male lad. It also included a role for Lin's husband, now a zombie. Lucky One played the character of Lin. Old Jack played the male lad. Yeah, no one could play Lin's zombie husband. Just then, an old man walked into the hot spring. "Is that you, bro?" "Lin, that guy isn't your brother anymore. He's a complete zombie." "What?" From then on, Oki became a part of the crew. He busily helped the crew every day. The child actor playing the little zombie quit. Oki asked his co-workers to send his kid to play the little zombie. The child is in zombie makeup, and he lay in a wooden box floating on the river. The father watched anxiously from the side, scared the child might fall in and get hurt. The father rushed right in. "Ah, Sheng. Ah, Sheng, what are you all doing?" Then Oki led the villagers to join as extras. The villagers were made up and started performing. Would be so adorable when acting. Zombies.
Zombies!
Wait, stop! Zombies can't run!
That day, Oki's sister arrived with her family, and busy Oki was still in the dark. "What brings you here? Tomorrow? What about yesterday?" "You can't be. Did you forget Sister Zhao's 3rd anniversary?" Reminded by his sister, Old Jack He returned home to find his son rushed back from Tokyo. The black clothes needed for the memorial are ready. Now the whole family recalls the wife's memorial. Only he forgot. This made him feel very guilty. In the evening they soaked in the hot spring again. After the hot spring, they had a bowl of hot noodles. Lucky One said he started making films because his father bought a camera. At first, Lucky One only used his father's camera to capture scenes like school sports events. Later, he fell in love with shooting.
Then you really should thank your dad. My dad must regret it.
Why?
My family runs an inn in Yamagata. I'm the oldest son.
The oldest son returns home to take over the family business. Yet Lucky One gave up inheritance for filmmaking. This caused a rift between him and his father. Lucky One believes his father regrets buying the camera, but Old Jack believes Lucky One's father wouldn't regret it. Old Jack thinks Lucky One's father is successful. If a father can buy his son to build and pursue dreams, then that father is competent. But Old Jack feels he hasn't guided his son's life at all. He always feels like a failed father. This shows that Old Jack's wife is a respected person. At the very least, she is likable. After the ceremony, relatives gather around. Some malevolent relatives began to mock Old Jack's son. I heard you quit your job.
What are you planning to do? Just follow old Jack then. That's not a bad suggestion.
They mocked his son and his profession. This made Old Jack very angry. The boy has his own thoughts too. Seeing his father stand up for him, the son suddenly grasped his dad's intent. A great vet in showbiz, so respected, the vet kept and said hemorrhoids were so bad, but he pushed through to satisfy Lucky One. He acknowledged Lucky One as a very talented director. After receiving the veteran's approval, Lucky One cried. The veteran was about the same age as his father. How great if this praise came from his dad. Meanwhile, Old Jack faced a big change. They could even sit together quietly to play chess. Old Jack could make peace with his son. All this was thanks to Lucky One's presence. Soon, Lucky One's crew celebrated the wrap-up of shooting. That day, a storm struck. Because of the heavy rain, the crew had to halt filming. Everyone waited for it to pass. People around told Lucky One to give up. Just then, Old Jack appeared. The sky is clearing. Old Jack said it won't last long. They needed to finish shooting during that brief moment. Minutes later, clouds parted and it cleared. The crew resumed filming. The female lead, Lynn, was eaten by a zombie while avenging her husband. After the final scene was shot, it started pouring again. It felt like that brief moment of sunshine was meant for Lucky One. It was a gift from above. The film was completed successfully. After the film was shot, the crew left the mountains, and Old Jack's life returned to its peaceful routine. Every morning, he prepared a hearty breakfast for himself. Then while eating, he listened to the weather forecast. The only difference was that his son became a lumberjack. Meanwhile, Lucky One began shooting his second film by the sea. The special chair Old Jack made him. He kept it by his side. The word supervisor on this chair, it symbolizes clear control and action. This chair helped Lucky One gradually regain his resolve. Jack and his son fight whenever they disagree. It's because his son quits jobs all the time. Behaviors that were very similar to his son's. Only then did he realize that behind his son's actions was a pain of being lost. The reason his son quit repeatedly was not to evade responsibility, lack commitment, nor laziness. It was because his son couldn't determine the life he wanted. So clumsily, he just tried new jobs over and over again. As Old Jack assisted Lucky One with the film, he gradually understood he shouldn't blame his son. He should support his son just as he supported Lucky One. Both Old Jack and Lucky One grew through this encounter. Old Jack found his place as a father. Lucky One found his true self. We often influence others without knowing it, and we change ourselves as well.